Welcome to the next episode of the Independent Threads podcast. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've got my boy Wes over here. I've known for a few years. And we're going to start going around and talking to people about their sneaker collections and just what's important to them, why they have the sneakers that they have, and just kind of do a little dive. So, if you're interested, hit me up, let me know. I'm going to be doing some traveling this year, and if I'm in your area, maybe we can record an episode. So, Wes, thanks for being on the episode.
Of course.
Absolutely. So, kind of in general, kind of tell us a little bit about the size of your collection and the general makeup of it, because we'll get into specific shoes here in just a little bit.
Okay, so I had to do a count right before you got here. So we landed on 105 pairs of shoes.
Okay.
I did count my sandals. Like I have like the D-Rose sandals. I don't wear a lot of sandals and stuff like that, so I was like, I'll count them. And there's a pair of slippers in there as well. But they have Mufasa on them, so that's kind of cool.
All right.
They're like the character slippers with the big head. Sometimes you just gotta be a kid for a little bit.
That's right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So most of the collection is tennis shoes, things that I can like dance in and move in.
Okay.
I have some running shoes, and as I've gotten a little bit older, I got some dress shoes, some boots. Lately, I've been doing a lot of like outdoor stuff, so nice boots have been a thing. But 80% of my collection is probably just straight sneakers. I've been doing, actually, my favorite sneakers that I've ever had in my collection aren't in my collection anymore. Like,
which are?
I had the MF Doom Dunks and I had the De La Soul Dunks, and they both got stolen.
No.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Out of my, it was tough.
Yeah, I know a dancer who he competed. He's a breaker in the MF Doom Dunks.
See, they're fire.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of dunks, so I actually have a tattoo on my chest, and I took the design. So on the bottom of a dunk, where where the pad of the big toe falls right under the ball of the foot, there's a circle.
Yep.
And that circle has like a point that runs through it.
Yep.
And expands. So I took that and I put it in my tattoo. It's a cross, but it's hip hop influence. So to represent the soul of the dancer and the soul of hip hop, I use the soul of the dunk.
Nice.
That was my favorite shoe to dance in. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And how long have you been dancing?
Like 18 years.
Okay.
Like, yeah. I just was talking about it yesterday, and that was when I decided, like, I'm gonna be a dancer. I'm gonna go for this.
Okay.
Like, really committed to like learning choreography, learning styles, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So dunks were like initially the favorite shoe, and Vandals. So I had the Valentine's Day Vandals. I forget what year it was, but they had playing cards on them. So on the outside of the shoe was the king, and the inside was the queen of hearts.
Oh.
They had like an arrow that like went through the toe of the shoe. They were red and white and a little bit like a bronzy gold color.
Okay.
I have to show you a picture. It's like fire.
Nice.
Those ones I wore out, like literally through the sole, like through the bottom of the shoe. Love those shoes.
And that's, speaking of wearing your shoes, that's one thing I've noticed just kind of looking at your collection. None of them come out of the box as if they look like the day you bought them. They're all pretty well worn, some more so than others, right? Obviously you tend to lean towards certain shoes when you're pulling them out.
Yeah.
Is that a conscious choice?
For the most part, yeah, because it's a feel thing. So these Jordans aren't really comfortable to wear for long periods of time, like when I'm dancing and moving. Like, they hurt my feet. So yeah. So depending on the shoe itself and then how my foot feels in it.
Yeah.
So like I wore, like, these were my favorite. These are Nike Air Pythons.
Okay.
And like you can kind of see where I'm just wearing down the heel of it. But one of my favorite shoes to dance, and they're super comfortable. And they have that's that dunk pattern I was talking about.
Maybe you get a new pair here coming up in February.
Yeah.
They're dropping the new. Yeah, they're dropping a new pair. Retro on them in February.
Okay. All right, maybe we replace them.
There you go. So awesome. So let's get into a little bit. I know you train motorcycle training.
Yeah.
You have a simulator. It's not up right now, otherwise we'd show that.
I think tomorrow or the next day I'm putting it up. So if you want to come back,
all right,
get
maybe
some
we'll come
footage.
back, get some B-roll for
Yeah.
that. But you got a couple pairs of
I do.
biking shoes over there.
So
For those that aren't in the know.
So motorcycle shoes are interesting because what you're looking for is reinforcement in the shoe in the event of like a crash. And so a lot of them, like this one, has reinforcement right over that toe because you shift with this. So you're lifting up.
Gotcha.
And if you're wearing like a pair of pretty much anything else, there's literally no reinforcement. So you're feeling that lever every single time. So you're looking for like reinforcement, like you get reinforcement in the heel, reinforcement in the toes. These are my favorite because they have the BOA lacing system. So it's literally like put your foot in it, you tighten it up.
Nice.
Super easy. You're done. Pop that out, and the shoe comes out like really nice.
Okay.
I got these because they almost look like Jordans. Like they almost look like a
maybe
sneaker.
Jordan should look at doing a collab. Something like that.
In a heartbeat. This company actually did a collab with Resident Evil, like the video game series.
Yeah.
They're super low key. I couldn't find them, but they have the umbrella logo
like
on the, and I was like, that would be fire.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find them. So this is like a regular, like everyday riding shoe.
Okay.
And then these are race boots. So race boots is that next level. It's like you want to be, and these are the Super Tech R's. So these are like Alpine Stars, like top of the line race boot.
Okay.
So you get all the same reinforcement, but it's this side. But you have like this protection on the shoe
because you're leaning into the ground.
You're leaning over, and if you got big feet and your toes are scraping the ground, you don't really want that happening. So tons of protection. Like I said, you got heel protection. These have this lacing system, so
they're like a snow boot.
Yeah.
Plus.
But the cool thing about these is they like have all this breathability in them. So I mean, track days are hot, like because it's summertime. You want heat on the track because you want the tires to be sticky.
Yeah.
So you want that heat. So a lot of the motorcycle gear for track stuff is designed so that you get that airflow. So yeah, this has an inner booty, and the lacing system is super easy. Like you literally just tighten that up, bring this across. Yep, cinch it down, zip it.
Boom.
Not super comfortable to like run around in.
They don't look it.
But track time, you feel like a superhero.
All right.
like you lace up, full suit on, gloves, helmet, and like it's just a superhero feeling.
Nice. So those are your track. Like you said, you got some running and some. But let's start getting to some of these pairs.
Cool.
So where do you want to start?
So I'm going to start with the Jun Takahashi Air Force One collabs.
Okay.
Just because when you first saw them, you were like, I haven't seen those before.
No, I had never seen these.
So Jun Takahashi founded a brand called Undercover. It's a Japanese like streetwear brand. So it's like a high-end brand. I think he's doing his next show in like March in Paris.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing brand. They've done multiple collabs with Nike. I actually found these at an outlet, and they were just so unique that I was like, I kind of have to have them.
Yeah.
They're Gore-Tex, and so they're actually waterproof. They have this inner boot that comes
sock, kind of like this the 7 or the 8.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yep. Comes all the way up, wraps around the ankle, and it says Undercover Jun Takahashi.
Okay.
In there, and then one of his kind of calling cards is on this one.
Debris.
Yeah, it says balance, and on this one it says chaos.
Okay.
So these are cool, and the fact that they're like weatherproof is kind of a fun, like, I don't like to wear nice shoes out in the rain if I can help it. I'm normally throwing some boots or some kick-arounds.
Okay.
So it's cool to have this, and then just this kind of almost like spray paint, like speckled pattern in the sole.
Yeah.
Like,
in the mid there.
I like this is fresh.
Absolutely nice.
So I actually found those at a Nike outlet, there's a number of pair in here that I just stumble across. So some of these shoes were like, I want those.
Okay.
And then some of these shoes were, I saw them and was like, oh, those are dope.
Yeah.
So those like the 2015 Hyperdunk. So I'm really big on like Japanese culture, Asian culture in general.
Okay.
I like some of the ethos behind the design. And this, I believe the tongue on that, the writing says something akin to like anyone can play basketball or something like that. I forget exactly. I mean, these are the 2015, but
We'll have to look that up.
yeah.
I don't read that.
You'll read Chinese?
No.
So these, yeah, you can grab those because they're closer to you. The Ferrari 14. So I'm like big on racing.
Okay.
Like, motorcycle racing is like the pinnacle of sports for me.
Okay.
Especially now. Like I used to be really big into basketball, which we'll get into later. But like now it's been MotoGP is like my top. F1 is great. I was just in Italy this past summer. Went to the Ducati Museum. Went to the that was Ferrari. Yeah, went to the Ferrari Museum. And just got to see. I have to show you. I got pictures and videos.
Okay.
And it's like, so there's always been like for cars and bikes and that style of thing. So the Ferrari 14s have a simulated carbon fiber in their sole. The carbon fiber is super lightweight, super sturdy material. So in a lot of high-end supercars, hypercars, that kind of stuff, my 350Z in the garage has an authentic carbon fiber wing.
Okay.
So there's just something about, this is not true carbon fiber, but there's something about carbon fiber that's just like,
it does it for you.
Really attractive.
Yeah. Well, if you don't already know, these are also another pair that are retroing this year. So you don't have to restore these. You can just copy a brand new
get some new ones.
Just get some new ones. Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, when I went to buy those, they were in a glass case, and the guy was like, I was like, can I try them on? He said, we don't let people try them on. I was like, dude, if they fit, I'll buy them. He's super reluctant to let me try them on. But and those almost, what's interesting is they almost feel like a boot. Like they don't wear like a regular sneaker.
Yeah, I haven't had any 14s yet.
Yeah. In my opinion, they almost feel like a boot with the way that my shoe fits in them.
And speaking of cars, have you seen that Adidas and Mercedes-AMG Petronas are now doing a collab instead of Puma?
I did not.
Yeah, that was just announced. So look for that later this year.
Yeah, I'm like huge Lewis Hamilton fan. Really,
but he left.
I know. But that's what got me into Mercedes and Petronas and like. So when I was at at Ferrari, they were selling Lewis Hamilton's
because he went over
model. I have I got this from the Ferrari store. This is my Carlos Sainz, and it was like this huge debate for me of like, do I want Lewis Hamilton, who's like my favorite driver, or do I want like I'm at Ferrari, like what do I get? So I went with the Ferrari because it was like that makes the most sense.
We'll get the new Ferrari 14s to go with it.
There you go. So these I really like. These are this is actually a D-Wade. This is a Way of Wade. I forget which number it is because they just keep dropping. Looks like that 9. Yeah, I'm upside down. But I got them because when I saw these right before they dropped, I saw Bruce Lee. So I study a martial art called Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah.
And that's Bruce Lee's martial art.
Absolutely.
So when I saw the opportunity to get the shoe, I was like, oh, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So
pre-order the shoe. The shoe comes, and actually, on the tongue of this shoe, it's just missing this one little dot. And so as soon as I get them, I'm like, hey, my shoe's missing this little. I sent them a picture, and they're like, well, we're actually not going to remake any more of that shoe. We're not going to produce anymore. And you have the last, I think it's 11 and a half. You have the last. So they were like, we can refund your money and you can send it back, but we can't replace the shoe.
Oh, they're not even making these.
Yeah.
Dang.
So I was like, oh, I guess I will keep them. So I love these.
But they look kind of familiar.
Yeah. Yes, because if you reach down there, the Onitsuka Tigers that Bruce Lee wore in Game of Death is like a very similar call to that.
Yeah.
And you can see on the inside of the shoe, there's a bunch of movie scenes.
Yeah. And that's, I think it's this movie here.
This one?
Yeah.
Yep. So like full yellow jumpsuit, yellow shoes, fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
There you go.
Kareem kicks him in the chest and his footprint is like
half his body. Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I literally got those because I was like, I want the Bruce Lee shoes.
Yeah.
They're soles are super thin, not super fun to dance in, but you feel pretty
very
badass.
Purposeful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when these came out, I was like, yeah, no brainer.
Almost look like a Samba.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
So I do wear those a lot. That's why they're a little dirty. I used to clean my shoes constantly.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, my mom would buy us one pair of shoes for the year. So like when we got our school shoes at the beginning of the year, that was it.
Unless your school shoes became this year's play shoes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right,
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
So
I get it.
it would be this thing of like, all right, well, what do I pick that's going to last me for the year?
Yeah.
And I remember one year I picked the question,
Okay.
the AI, the question
Yeah.
that they had in like yellow and navy blue.
Yep.
Had to wear it with everything. And as a kid, there was no forethought of like, oh, I should get something that's gonna match all my clothes.
Yeah, like a neutral pair.
Yeah, no, it was just like I'm wearing these every day, and loved them. But now I just don't like. I still clean my shoes, toothbrush and soap, and clean my shoes. But I have so many pair now that it's like either buy some new ones or I'll
it is what it is.
Pair. Yeah. But you'll catch me cleaning my shoes every now and then.
All right. What else you want to show us?
Let's see. So these 6 rings are super sentimental.
Okay.
Those were my brother's shoes. So my brother passed away in a motorcycle accident. He got hit by a drunk driver.
Oh.
And when I went to his house, because he lived in Indiana, so when I went to his house, I just remember like I saw his motorcycle helmet, which he wasn't wearing a helmet at the time. I don't know if it would have saved him based on the logistics of the accident and how everything happened. But his helmet was there, and then these shoes, and there was a black pair of Nike shorts, and he used to wear like I think there was a black Finish Line, like the extra tall tees. Like, But I just remember like I snagged just like some black gear, like, I was in mourning, and it was like that made sense.
Yeah.
And then I went to the crash site, and so since then I've had these shoes, and as you can tell, like there's everything's starting to wear on them.
Yeah.
But this is one of those like those will be with me forever.
They'll have to crumble into the ground before you get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna move with me.
No, I get it.
And these were the last pair of shoes that he bought me.
Okay.
There's a picture of us from a long time ago, and we were in a shoe store, and he's posing with a pair of Jordans, and put a caption that was like Leland's shoe closet.
Okay.
And it was, it's just a wall of shoes, and it's like we kind of had that mental image of like we like shoes, we like it's a style thing.
Right,
Grew up in like the And One era, and
heck yeah.
Air Force Ones, and there's all the fire songs about shoes. So these I again just wore.
Yeah. Those have seen those have given up their time.
You're right. Giving up the ghost.
They served you well.
So I don't like.
Thank you.
I won't let go of them.
Right.
But they'll stay.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. There's some things that are just, they're just gonna be like. There's stuff I know I need to let go of. Like I have a shirt from college that's like, oh, I remember that pizza place from college, and it's like, let it go, bro. Let it go. But then there's other things like that are like, they're so significant. It's interesting because it's just a thing, But it's like I can't look at those shoes and not see my brother. Like, it's immediate. Like I don't even have to think about it. So these are.
Probably your most wild pair, and one of the most wild pairs I've ever seen.
The most wild pair, but they also get me the most notoriety and recognition. Like, now they're what I call my recital shoes.
Okay.
So I wear them to every dance recital for the kids. So I'll dress up in a suit and throw these on. So now the kids expect that when there's recital time, they're like, where are the shoes?
Where are the gold shoes?
But these are the Jeremy Scott Adidas. They did a collab. These are the Goldwing 2.0s. They're super comfortable. So they have this whole inner booty that comes out.
Okay.
It's like a shoe within a shoe, but it's super comfortable and form fitting. And then everything's Velcro. So there's a lacing system underneath, but everything is Velcro. So even though it looks ridiculous, it's actually a very comfortable shoe. And then the wings, I don't know what material they're made out of, but getting them caught on stuff
they don't crease or really get messed up.
No. So originally, my mom had sent me a picture of these shoes, like a screenshot. She was like, "Oh my God, these are so you." I was like, "If you ever find a pair, you let me know and I'll buy them."
Uh-huh.
Then I had a friend go who's in downtown Chicago, went to the Adidas boutique and saw them and was like, "Ha, look at these shoes." And I was like, "Cop them
Now.
right now." I was like, "Give me those shoes." He was
Yeah.
like, "Really? They're $300." And I was like, "Absolutely. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, buy them." And he did. And he brought them back. And ever since then, like, that's been the calling card. People just, they see them and they love them. And they made them in black. And the black ones, when they dropped, were more expensive.
Hmm.
The black ones, I want to say when they dropped, were closer to like $1,000.
It's probably the materials they put into it.
Yeah, the black, I'm like, it doesn't even look as good in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the camo ones are like a woodland camo.
Okay.
So they're interesting, but I don't think anything touches.
Nothing as flashy as that.
Yeah. So you do this, gold chain, gold rings, gold earrings, gold tie. And it's like, it's money.
Nice.
It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are crazy. All right. So, we good?
Yeah, I mean, just quick rundown. These are custom Tims. My mom made them for me, so that's my brother's number. So another like very sentimental shoe.
Okay.
Sometimes I just come up on like Nyjah Houston is a championship skateboarder. I used to skateboard. I don't anymore just because it's dangerous for my career, for what I do now. But
and as we get older, we stop doing things like that.
Yeah. You're supposed to anyway. I don't. I'm still doing crazy stuff. I think I'm a insurance liability because I'm still like, let's climb stuff and jump off stuff and do flips and
race motorcycles.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just each of them is kind of like represents a phase of my life. So I can look at a shoe and be like, oh, this is what I was going through at that time, or this is where. Actually, you should grab both of those.
These?
Yeah. So I used to be super into lacing. Yeah. So whenever I wear these, people are always like, "Yo, that's so cool." So I just checkerboarded them.
Okay.
Because I used to be like really into like different lacing styles.
Yeah.
And, back in the day, that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
And now it's just like that art is kind of lost, and it's like you go buy a pair of shoes, and it's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. I've seen some videos with people doing some crazy lacing, some double lacing.
Yeah. You might get like some Vans or some SBs or something that have like bar laces.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just kind of like traditional. So those are fun literally because of the lacing system. And then everyone is always like, how did you do that? It's actually super simple.
Just patience.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's just some patience. Yeah.
And 2 pairs of laces.
Yeah.
So.
But speaking of times in your life when shoes are speaking about things and people are watching this, they notice there's 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5 rows of D Rose, Adidas D Rose.
Straight roses.
Yeah. So, what was going on during that time? Where were you at? What were you doing?
So all of the D Rose, the D Rose era was literally the D Rose era. I was working for the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
As an Incredible, so like a hype man.
Yeah.
And originally when the Incredibles started, it was a fan interaction squad.
Okay.
So when I came on board, the whole like job description was like, get out there and throw T-shirts and get the crowd hyped up and interact with them, and we do the chants on the side like let's go Bulls, let's go, that kind of stuff. Which was like right up my alley. I was like, I'm a hype man for life. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I want to make a song one day, but I just want to do ad libs.
Yeah.
I don't need to be the rapper.
You're Little John.
I could.
Yeah. That's it. That's all you need to do.
That's what I want. Like, let me get my ad libs.
Okay.
So, so it was like perfect for me. I absolutely loved it. And actually, of these pair, these were team shoes. So they gave us these, which are great. They have the Adi Boost sole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like super soft. It was like the response almost to Nike Shox.
Yeah.
So super comfortable. And so because I got these as a team shoe, when I saw these, I was like, oh, I got to get it. They were, I want to say I found these at the Adidas outlet. But I already knew I liked these. They were super comfortable.
Right.
So I copped those. And then those were also team shoes.
Okay.
But they very much feel like a casual shoe.
Yeah.
Like it's like a night out shoe. So I don't wear those as much. That's why they're so clean after having them for I don't know, 10 years or
Yeah,
something,
something like that.
9 years. But when I started working for the Bulls, they were dropping D Rose was dropping shoes all the time.
Yeah.
So I copped, I want to say those first.
Okay.
Really like those, and those have I forget what they called it. They might have called it Me, like MI. There's
Oh, the kind of the Nike ID,
yeah,
but it's the Adidas version of
yep.
it.
And so
Yeah,
yeah,
MI. Yeah.
and you just drop that sensor in the shoe, and it tracks all types of stuff.
Okay.
Before Apple Watches were so prevalent.
Yeah.
So,
We're putting
but
stuff in our shoes.
yeah, and I think it might have been Bluetooth, but those two same generation,
Okay.
which I want to say are the 3.5s. And then so once I knew I liked those, then the fours dropped. So I got these first because I really liked the colorway. Red and black is like my favorite colorway.
I think if you're from Chicago, like that has to be your favorite
It
colorway
makes
on a basketball
sense,
shoe.
right?
Like
Right.
it just did.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another team shoe. This is another one that the Bulls gave us, the 773s.
Okay.
So some of them is like, oh, this was a gift from the Bulls for being an employee. But then I think both of these pair, yeah, from at an outlet. So these are the 4.0s, and I got them. What's that? I paid like $40 for those or something. And for me, that's hard to pass up. It's hard to
No,
find a
right?
shoe that you like, that's comfortable, that you want to rock, and it's like, oh, it's $40
Right.
or $30.
Like that just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Even at the outlets today, really.
yeah.
Like it just doesn't happen.
And if you're thinking about shoes, it's like, so like those I've had for like 9 years. These I've had for 6 at least. But it's like if you're looking at like price versus usage,
Hmm.
like you could go out, you could go eat a meal, with you and another person and pay, depending on where you're going, you can pay between 60 and $120, depending on how fancy you get.
And the meal's done.
And that's it, right? Or you pay $60, $100 for a pair of shoes and have them for years.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this clip out, and then I'm gonna allow people. If you need an argument as to why you need to keep growing your collection,
Right.
Just use that analogy, and you're good.
Right. You
There you
can't turn
go.
it down.
You tell that significant other, that person that's telling you to stop. That's how you get it to keep going.
This works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, babe, I'm gonna have these for like 5 more years.
10 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all right.
Yeah. So this was like a super cool, even these. And now that so I do a lot of private events.
Okay.
And so majority of those being bar and bat mitzvahs. So when someone says like, oh, the color or the theme of my party is this, like I've worn these to a party because the theme was like a light blue and pink. I'm like, I got something that'll come close to that, or like a teal and pink.
Yep.
So for me, like the way I like to put my outfits together, because I'm very much like color coordination is like paramount. I think if an individual can put together like colors, the flow of the outfit is so much different. So having a variety in the collection allows me to really tune myself to like which events are happening.
Yeah.
So my shoe collection, it's funny because like as my shoe collection has expanded, my hat collection has expanded, and my tie collection has expanded. And those are the main things that I'll coordinate with a suit. So it's like
Gotcha.
black suit, like I said, black suit, gold tie, gold jewelry, gold shoes.
Yeah.
And then I'll have like a black hat with like a gold brim.
Okay.
And it's like money.
Yeah.
These are one of my new favorites to wear, like this little velvety material. And it's like, I have a purple tie, purple shoes, purple hat. I can do a black suit again. And it just like ties it all together.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that is very timely that we're recording this because we just had the D Rose Day here in Chicago.
January 4th.
Yes, Saturday the 4th.
Yeah.
And it went very well. They had shirts drop. He gave out roses.
I was supposed to be there.
That's all right. You know what? You can just save your time and go to his jersey retirement next year.
Okay.
Because they're retiring his jersey next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
they said
awesome.
the only person that's going to wear is PJ if he becomes a Bull.
Oh,
His son.
that would be dope.
Yeah.
That would
So
actually be really dope.
so they're going to retire his jersey next year. But while you were with the Bulls, kind of explaining some of the, you've also collected some cool memorabilia.
Oh yeah, I have
So,
I have some really dope stuff. So I have pretty much all the gear that we got. So I
okay.
have like some duffel bags. Our team was the Incredibles.
Yep.
So like I have duffel bags that have the Incredibles logo on it. I got hoodies. I got all of our warm up gear because we get warm up gear every year. This is the 50th the 50th season. So on here it says 1966 to 2016. So I was actually working for the Bulls then, and we got hooked up with these awesome Adidas tracksuits because they had their sponsorship things,
Yes.
like merge but yeah, with Adidas. So that's why we got Adidas shoes, right?
Yeah.
And we got all that. And then, so this is the 50th anniversary.
Oh, this Joker's heavy.
Yeah.
I thought this was like plastic. No, this Joker's heavy.
Yeah. So it's got retired numbers on one side, and then I think championship seasons on the other side. Yeah.
So when they do the 75th, we know there's going to be at least one more retired jersey out there.
Right. So that's super cool. Trying to think some like just through the years, they just like I was a coach for the Breakables at one point.
Okay.
I think I did 2 seasons as their coach. So I was working as an Incredible and also the coach of the Breakables.
Oh, wow.
And so they gifted me like a Chicago Bulls ugly sweater. So every time I see that, I'm like, that's a cool thing. And then this is Joakim Noah. You can't see it from there, but this is like a Joakim Noah hologram. So
him dunking.
Him with his signature in there, which is awesome because I have this autographed Joakim Noah jersey that I try and keep nice and pristine.
Yeah.
It's
have to get a jersey frame for it.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be. Someone was like, you need to get that framed, and I'm like, you are right. Because some of this stuff is just hard to let go in this way of like, it was such a meaningful time in my life.
Yeah, for
being able to do all those things. And between doing like private events and parties and teaching hip hop classes and working for the Bulls, I was getting like pretty significant recognition. Like I'd be walking down the street, so I'd be like, "Hey, you're that guy."
Well, and at the time, you don't have it now, but at the time, you had a giant mohawk.
Right. It made it a lot easier.
A lot easier to pick you out of a crowd.
Like, that's the guy with the red mohawk I saw at the game yesterday. Like, yeah. So that was definitely a lot easier. Sometimes I forget that. So this I was actually gifted from someone, and I haven't hung it up yet, but this is a autographed canvas, D-Rose autographed canvas of him throwing down.
Yeah. He was just so explosive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Incredible. Joe, a young KD.
Yeah.
And then I said it the other day.
Westbrook?
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, and then we'll number
9. Pablo Cephalosha.
We'll put it up here, in the post production.
Okay.
But there's a great picture of you.
Just
all excited with. I found it. Looking at Kobe.
Yeah.
And Derrick Rose. So Derrick Rose is kind of closer to the camera back. So we see your face, but so them from behind.
That's Kobe's last game at the United Center. So that was like everyone knew he was retiring at the end of that year. So it was like a farewell tour.
Yeah.
And so when he came, like I was so hyped to work that game. Yeah. Like I'm on the schedule.
Am I on the schedule? I'll be there, right? Yeah. Right? You need me, right?
I'll do whatever. I will serve popcorn. Like whatever you need.
Yeah.
And so we're getting ready. I think we're waiting for a timeout. So we were always prep. We helped with like all the contests and stuff that Benny would do on the court.
Oh, okay.
We'd help the game ops guys set stuff up. So I'm waiting, I think, for the next timeout on the baseline. And it just so happened Kobe goes to the line for free throws. So you got D-Rose at the 3-point line. And he's just kind of off center, and you got Kobe shooting a free throw. You got me on the baseline waiting to come out, and I'm just like, Like, this is amazing.
Well, and the funnier part about it is you're excited, right?
Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
working, so you don't have your phone or anything on you. And if you look at the rest of the crowd, they
Yeah.
all have their phones
Oh,
out,
do
just
they? See, I didn't
taking
even look.
moment, like trying to get those last moments of watching Kobe play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I'm just absorbing it.
yeah, which is nice
Yeah.
at times. You could just take it in for the moment that it is,
Yeah,
and
man.
not look at it through that camera screen.
Yeah.
So
Just like staying present. I mean, that's kind of,
yeah,
if you look at my social media, like that's kind of how I do things.
yeah,
I'm just so much of like I grew up in a different time.
yeah,
So I'm so much of like be present. And if someone gets a picture or people are like, let's take a photo together. Absolutely no problem with it.
yeah,
But I'm just not up for seeing the world through a viewfinder.
yeah.
There's just too much stuff to do, too much fun to be had. Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants to go see some of your social media, where are they going to find you?
I am on Instagram as Westside_22. Come check me out. It's Westside, Wesside, because my name is Wes.
Okay.
And I stole it from my dad, but this dude used to ride down the block where we lived at. He'd be like, West Side. And my dad would be like, you know. So when I started like my entertainment career, and it was like, well, what do you want to be called? Because, you know, I got friends and people with names like Nook, T, S Puppy, K the Great, Digo, Casper, Sage. Like, we have all these people with different names. And,
Hi, I'm
like,
Wes.
right. It's like, what do I want to be called?
Yeah.
So I've had many different nicknames, but I was like, for the entertainment industry, I like West Side.
Perfect.
You know, it's not too over the top, you know, and it's right there. And then when people get it, they get it. Like, oh, my name's Wes, but you can call me West Side. It's like, oh. And then you get like stupid stuff. Like, are you from the West Side?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, hey, appreciate you giving the rundown of all the sneakers that you have, what they've meant to you, why you copped them. It's been fun. I always like to hear the stories behind why people have the shoes in their collection. And being courtside for a lot of Derrick Rose's career in Chicago, that had to be something else.
Yeah.
So
I've seen there's just like goosebump moments that I've seen and witnessed. But I think that it's super, like, the whole idea behind what you're doing and how you're moving through this, I think is super dope, because
appreciate that.
when you talk to people about shoes, like the people that you see that have these really dope shoe collections, and they have a shoe room that lights up, and, you know, they're pulling out all these custom shoes. It's like, that's not everybody. That's like that elite person that's got enough money that they can just put on shoes. And it's, you know, I have, on a regular day, when you come see my shoe collection, it's like there's like 10 pairs in that closet. There's like 30 pairs in my guest room. There's another 40 pairs in my closet. There's another 12 pairs hanging on the back of my door. So you don't just get to walk into one room and be like, here's everything, and I'm going to light it up beautifully, and I'm going to, so, you know.
That's not always real. Now, somebody might have started small and grown it, you know, or there's other people who just bought their way in. That may not be the every person's experience with how they manage their collection.
Yeah, and that variety of understanding, like, there are those people, and there is that every man who's like, that's what I do, like, I collect shoes, and that's how I've organized. But for me, I do so much. Like, I mean, I love motorcycles, so I got 4 motorcycles. I have I think now I have like 10 or 11 motorcycle helmets, because that's a whole other collection for me. Like, there are things that I like to collect, and so I'm just not in a space to fully commit to, like, I'm going to design my house around shoes. Right. But when I talk to my kids, and they're like, my dance kids, because I don't have kids. Okay. I talk to my dance. Got to be specific about that. Note. When I talk to my dance kids, and they'll say, because I'll show up in different shoes, you know, every week. And I'm like, how many pairs of shoes do you have? Well, now it's 105. Yeah. But, you know, as it's increased, you know, I'd be like 84. And they're like, wow. So I don't know what that looks like in their brain. When I say I have 84 pairs of shoes, is that what they picture? They picture like a shoe room.
Oh,
like,
I bet it is.
Boom, 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 boom.
Like, and to the average person, 84 shoes. Like, why you got 84 shoes? You got 2 feet. Yeah, everyone's like, that's what my dad said. You got 2 feet. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. And then when I show up with new shoes, I'll be like, man, I just bought a couple pair. People will be like, and did you throw some away? Did you donate some? For what? Right. For what?
Like, I
No.
need them all. What do you
Yes,
mean?
that's right. They're
Yeah.
Pokemon. You gotta
Yeah.
catch
You
them
gotta
all.
catch them all.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching this episode of Independent Threads. Really appreciate you taking the time to rock with Wes and I as we went through his collection. Make sure to follow, like, and share the channel. Go follow Wes on Instagram at Westside, WESSIDE _22 over on Instagram. And if you're interested in being on the show, hit me up and we'll record your episode. Appreciate it.